Shalina Heber, Executive Director of VCB, drives on a highway.
The Valley Center for the Blind serves people of all levels of vision loss. Pretty much once you've gone to a physician, they can't get your vision back to being as functional as needed. That's kind of where we step in.
Cars and semi-trucks traverse the highway which passes Fresno.
And here in the Central Valley, which has been incredibly underserved, is about 60,000 individuals we estimate with vision loss just within the 5 counties that VCB serves here locally.
A bird's eye view of the downtown area.
I often ask people to close their eyes.
Text, close your eyes. The screen goes black.
Imagine what it might be like if this is now your permanent situation.
Joaquin puts on a button-down shirt.
I have an eye disease called retinitis pigmentosa. I was born with it. It's genetic. The women pass it down to the men. I could possibly pass it down to my daughter. She could possibly pass it down to her son. My peripheral vision is getting smaller.
His wife dusts his shoulders with a lint roller.
Right now I see like double vision. It's hazy. Almost looks like a fog.
His wife guides Joaquin to the door and puts a strap around his shoulder. Joaquin uses a cane to navigate.
I can't see in low light areas. It's getting harder just to see during the day as well because my disease is progressive.
Joaquin's wife kisses him and opens the door for him. He goes outside and the sun is out.
I'm 41 years old now. In the last 3 years, 4 years, I noticed it getting more blurry, hazy.
He opens a laptop and types.
Without the peripheral vision, you're starting to see double vision. I knew this was gonna happen, and I think that's when I started looking up like careers for the blind. I was just typing in everything, people with visual impairment, what can they do for a job? And there's not much.
Joaquin scrolls on a website with text, "Who attends VCB?" Shalina exits her car outside the Valley Center for the Blind, a brick building. She enters the office smiling and greeting the people.
When I first joined the organization, one of the first things we did was do a community needs assessment, and what the community wanted from this organization was to help overcome that unacceptable 70% unemployment rate for people who are blind or low vision.
A woman assists another to cook on a stovetop.
Our first thought was, well, we're already giving people a lot of independence training.
People type on computers with adaptive keyboards and screens.
And that training was, in a lot of cases, supposed to lead to jobs, but it wasn't going anywhere.
A quote on the wall reads, "Alone we can do so little. Together we can do so much." Helen Keller.
We'd teach people how to use their computers and their smartphones and independently manage their home and their finances and read Braille, and they'd go out and apply for jobs, and it wasn't going anywhere.
Joaquin sits in a chair in the hallway. He holds a paper in his hand. He folds his cane.
I was the type of person that always kind of worked outside, and I knew I couldn't do that, for obvious reasons. I did ask, like, the eye doctors, what could I do here? I was asking them, what could I do? And they were like, I don't know, what can you do? They were asking me the question, and I was like, I don't know, I asked my primary doctor, even my dentist, if they had something I could do, like, I can answer phones, I can be on a laptop. I already had went through the VCB training. They had gave me the software where your computer talks to you. So I had all that knowledge. I just didn't know how to advocate for myself and speak up and say, look, I know how to do this stuff.
Well, we as an organization successfully employ people who are blind or low vision every day. So how do we create, through strategic partnerships, more employment opportunities?
Vision loss brochures sit on a table. A proclamation from the city of Fresno hangs framed on a wall. Ronaldo and his guide dog Linux walk down a hallway. Ronaldo speaks with Shalina.
Once COVID hit, I get this phone call from VCB. They knew I was looking for a job. They knew how difficult it was. And VCB got this opportunity to work for pandemic unemployment. Unemployment was just overwhelmed with calls, hundreds of thousands of people out of jobs due to COVID. I was pretty happy, to be honest with you. I was like, yes, I'm there,
Joaquin enters a building and puts on a headset.
So that first job with Valley Center for the Blind, all that meant everything, for me. Once that ended, we got another contract with Fresno County Operator. And then another opportunity came up with Fresno County, and they asked me again, do you want to, we need somebody, we think you'll be great for this job, but it's on site.
He boards and rides a bus.
Counties are having a difficult time recruiting staff and employees. And so you're seeing every county trying to do something different, trying to innovate. How do we address this worker shortage out there right now?
Joaquin approaches a tall building, swinging his cane in front of him. Joe Prado, Assistant Director for the Fresno County Department of Public Health, sits in an office.
So the county needed to innovate, and the innovation came with our COVID equity project, and specifically with Valley Center for the Blind. And once we started learning about that skill set, we figured out like, whoa, hey, this is a blueprint. This is how we address workforce issues. It's been great as the Valley Center for the Blind people work alongside our staff. It's been great to see the relationships grow.
Joaquin, he laughs and chats with a coworker.
It's a pretty nice place to work for. Get along with everybody. Just me in the morning getting up at 5:30 in the morning, getting ready to go to work was like the greatest feeling. Showing my kids, Dad could still go to work, even though he's losing his vision. It feels good. I'm super proud of myself.
Framed family photos decorate his space.
People do want to be engaged in this community. People want to be employed. We just have to make adjustments. We have to make adjustments on what type of training we provide, or maybe even like for our visually impaired, what does a workstation look like? What software is available to them so they can do their job more effectively? Now we're increasing economic mobility.
Joe and Joaquin smile and talk in an office.
Now we are transforming our neighborhood and our community completely when we have more people who are able to go out and get jobs and lead productive lives.
Joaquin talks on the phone in his cubicle.
I think the misconception about hiring people with any disability,
Fresno County Department of Public Health, Rabies Division, my name is Joaquin, how can I help you?
is that it's a safety issue or they can't do certain things. But with technology today, that's just not true.
The department has a responsibility to serve everyone in our community. And so what we like to talk about is health equity. The whole term of equity is really helping people, giving people what they need, and that's what Valley Center for the Blind really helped us to do and put an exclamation point on. Equity with our disabled population.
Ronaldo Villarreal, Workforce Development Director with Linux and Shalina in a hallway. Linux wags his tail.
There's technology out there like screen readers to help navigate a screen in an Excel spreadsheet or an email and have that audibly read out to someone so they can do data entry, do customer service, do corresponding work.
People work wearing headsets.
It's available. It's just getting people to hear the way we do things, how we adapt our life.
A person labels spice bottles with a labeler.
And just taking a chance.
A sign on the door says, "Stop for white canes. It's the law."
Going through the proper training for the job and having the right accommodations, we're more than capable.
Joaquin smiles and plays a game with his family in their living room.
Me working at the public health department for a little bit over a year now, I think it proves that.
This is an untapped resource for our community. To be able to work with our visually impaired is really something that can grow even more. When you talk to the Valley Center for the Blind employees, they're grateful for this opportunity. They want economic mobility just like everybody else. They're just like everybody else.
People work at computers.
If I were blind or low vision, I would hope that I could find a meaningful way to engage in our community and find people who could see me for the value I possess and the skills that I could contribute. That would give me the opportunity to live the meaningful life that I would deserve.
Linux nuzzles Ray.
I'm still learning as my vision does progress, but I'm not as worried, I'm not as scared as I was. I do feel more confident thanks to VCB.
The men and women smile.
If I was visually impaired, I would want everybody to see me as part of them, as part of the community. I think I want to be connected.
I'm visually impaired, but that doesn't define who I am or what I can do. And honestly, I still feel like the same person, just a little blurry and hazy, but I don't think that's going to change me.
Text, open your eyes to the possibilities. Text, to learn more about inclusive employment opportunities, contact us. 559-222-4447. myvcb.org. VCB logo, Valley Center for the Blind. A green and blue heart logo, Healthy Fresno County, better together.